What's up, everybody? We're back with the Magic and Andrew MMA betting show. We've got episode 105. Alessandra Pantoja taking on Steve Erceg for the 125-pound title. And we're going to start from the first fight on the prelims, Tapology order, work our way up. But before that, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, SXBet. This week's episode, like the last few, is sponsored by SXBet, and I'm really excited about this because UFC 301 is here. We've got our analysis for you. We've got SXBet on board, and they've got some great odds for UFC 301. If you're like me, constantly checking Spank Odds, Dom Best, Fight Odds IO, Best Fight Odds, SXBet is absolutely dominating. They have the best odds available right now on a bunch of the fights on the main card and on the prelims. For anyone who's serious about betting, these extra margins will make a huge difference in you being profitable or not. SXBet's a betting exchange, so it's peer-to-peer. They have no trading fees and a $1,000 welcome bonus, so it's a great time to start betting on SXBet. So shout out to our sponsors. The first fight of the night is Kevin Boras taking on Alessandro Costa. What are your thoughts here, Magic?
I think Alessandro Costa is the side. He's the much more skilled fighter. Could he die? Yeah. Kevin Borjas is like one of these Peruvian or Chilean. I don't know. I don't even know what he is, but they are absurd durable and go forward, throw a lot, has power. But the grappling hole is pretty big here against Costa if he gets it to the ground, and it should be anybody's fight on the feet. Yeah, I think Costa has to be the side. The line is getting closer. Seems that a lot of people like Kevin Borjas. I think Kevin Borjas is pretty shit, honestly. Like, he's functional. He has volume, pace, hits hard. You know what I mean? He's like the basic MMA video game fighter. But there's nothing special about him.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty good striker, but I don't really love his grappling. And Costa, to be fair, has fought better people than him. Like, he got kind of thrown into the deep end when he got in the UFC. He's already fought Albazi. He's already fought Erceg in a competitive fight, by the way, who is fighting. We're going to talk about him in the main event. I don't love his technical striking, but he does have power. I kind of think this is one of those fights that the winner is going to look like a hindsight big favorite, because I think if Costa can get the grappling going and if he commits to it, is going to look like the favorite. But if he can't, I do like Boras as a striker better. He's good volume, good shots down the middle. I like Costa sub plus 700. I think it's wide. I think if he does get the grappling going, that's going to look in play, or that's going to look like value, I should say. But yeah, I'm picking Costa in that one. Next up, Ismail Bonfim versus Vince Pachel. I think Bonfim probably finishes Pachel here. Pachel in his 40s, coming off a 2-year layoff. Bonfim, pretty big hitter, just all around at this point in their careers. I think he's a better fighter everywhere. Pachel looked rough against Madsen a couple years ago. Can't imagine he comes out looking any better this time. Obviously, this line, like a lot of the lines on this card, are super juiced, so I have no interest in playing it. Magic, is there any angle you like on this fight?
Pachel is probably going to get killed. He's 41 and Bonfim is a beast. Unless you can grapple him dominantly, or unless you are like Benoit Saint-Denis. But yeah, Bonfim is a beast. I don't know. Can Pachel grapple him? It comes down to that. I don't think so at 41. It's not like Bonfim is super easy to grapple. I just think that, fucking Benoit Saint-Denis grapples everyone. Like, he was running through Poirier the same way in the grappling until he got early, so... Yeah, Pachel is probably going to get brutalized. He may be upset about this. Did you see that he cooked this guy on Twitter? That was so funny.
Yeah, I didn't get why. Like, I still don't really understand why.
I don't know, because I'm not watching that fucking video, but I guess they picked against him. So what you're disrespecting Bing Pachel. He's coming after you. I don't know what they said. I didn't watch the video. I just thought it was very funny. That guy that told it. I don't know his name. The guy that is always simping Rivas on Twitter. That guy.
I have no idea. I'm not up with the times on Twitter. Diane Barbosa versus Ernesta Karasaki. What do you like here?
Yeah, I bet against Karakaite in Contender Series, and Suddenly she was Gennady Golovkin. That gave me cancer. I was like, this other girl is just going to win comfortably. It was a close fight, a split. I think I thought my girl won. No bias, but she was like putting it on her late, and like it was genuinely insane. Like the fighter I watched on tape before betting against her, and the fighter that showed up to Contender Series, like there was some serious using going on there. So yeah, if she doesn't get grapple fucked or choked in one or submitted in one, this is probably her fight to lose. The only Barbosa is pretty shit, has beaten bartenders and armbarred a non-good fighter in Contender Series. Yeah, maybe Karikaiter live a good spot too if she gets taken down early and survives. But I think she takes over mid to late if she's still alive.
Yeah, pretty much the exact same thoughts here. Barbosa is an interesting one to me because she's pretty credentialed in judo and in jiu-jitsu, but I don't feel like her MMA, I don't think it translates that well to MMA. Ernesta, a lot of volume on the feet. She's all offense, good cardio, good pace. I don't love her grappling. I'm kind of with you. I feel like if she survives early, like say Barbosa takes her down the first round, it could end up being a really good live entry. I do favor her cardio late too. It's just tough for me to take this when her grappling is so untested, and what she has done in the grappling hasn't looked great. But I don't know. I would lean her over Barbosa just given the fact that she's going to throw a ton of volume. Her cardio is good. She seems to be improving. But yeah, not a confident take for me. Next up, Marcio Ruffy versus Jamie Malarkey. I'm picking Ruffy here, but I'm not interested in laying 2-1 on a guy coming off the Contender Series who isn't going to look to proactively grapple. Good leg kicks, should have a power and durability edge here. Malarkey, obviously, much more experienced. We know he has good cardio. He could go late, but he just, he's taking a lot of damage, and he's probably physically outmatched here, at least in my opinion. So I'm picking Ruffy. I think the leg kicks are going to be there for him. I think his power edge and durability edge is probably too much.
Yeah, 2 years ago, this would have been a massive bet on Malarkey, but his durability seems to be gone. It's going outside, honestly. So I can see him dying very badly here. If he's alive after 5 minutes, probably a good life entry if the price holds and he's getting his leg kicks going and maybe some cage pushing. Like Ruffy kind of fluked his winning Contender Series, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I mean, not fluke the win, but the finish was. I don't know what the other guy was doing, honestly, to get finished like that. Yeah, Malarkey's durability was what his game was built around, and it seems to be gone. We'll see. I don't have much interest in this fight, honestly. Like, if you are playing Ruffy by knockout minus 105 or minus 110, man, that's a huge percentage implied. I mean, that's not what you want. So it's a pass.
Joaquim Silva versus Jakar Clos. You have anything on this one?
I think the under is pretty good. Jakar Clos is notoriously retarded, and Joaquim Silva doesn't have a chin and hits very hard. So I think they are going to swing and somebody's going to die. Silva has a very bad chin. I don't think people realize how bad his chin is because he's so used and he's hit so hard, but he plays it very carefully where to punch and when to punch. And every time he gets hit hard, he wobbles. Like Clay with had him in a couple spots where I was like, oh, he's hurt. For real.
No.
So yeah, I think this is going to be violent.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's kind of funny. I feel like there are different runs of different versions
What are
of
you
Close
looking at?
career where there's a ton of finishes, but he's had some fights kind of that were bangers. I remember I had the under on him with I don't even remember the guy's name. He's not in the UFC anymore, but he beat the guy up, and it took him a while, but he finished him eventually. Silva, yeah, kind of the same thing you said. Durability issue. It's pretty funny to think that he had Armin on skates. Like, imagine how different like the trajectory of that division would be if he like.
I mean, he
finished
hit
that
him with
hard.
a good punch.
Yeah, he
People
did.
don't want to talk about it, but Arman has kind of a shit chin. And I love him. I think he's a beast, but eventually somebody's going to just fold him funny. He got knocked out brutally. before the UFC. I don't think a lot of people have seen that clip. Like he got knocked out, like a bad knockout, out cold on the ground. Like one of these, like, I mean, it didn't look the same, but the same kind of knockout as Makhachev versus this guy, the Brazilian. Yeah, same kind of knockout. Like,
Martinez.
Yeah, boom, over the top, dead.
Yeah, I'm picking Clos here. It's just tough to trust him at this price because I don't think he separates on minutes, but I do think he's more durable. And just I just think he's a little bit better than Silva everywhere. So I'm picking him to get it done. Next up, we've got Elves Brenner versus Miedebeck Oralby. I think Oralby is going to win. I actually like him as a prospect. I was not totally sold on him coming into the UFC, but his last fight, I feel like, even though Medic isn't necessarily like a great grappler, just like how easy he made that look to me, at least, was pretty impressive. Brenner, kind of fortunate run. He was a big underdog against Kudaladzé. He pulled it out. Then he beat a guy quickly on short notice. The Tukagov fight, he was a massive underdog. I just think Orwell's top side, Orby's top time upside here, it's like a tongue twister, is too much to justify a Brenner play. But again, you're paying a big price if you want to bet him. I do think he wins, but yeah, I'm not interested in laying minus 250 just because this is probably his hardest fight. I'm not sold on him as a striker, and I don't think Brenner is like a bad fighter by any means. So I'm picking Oralby. What do you like?
Oralby is going to rank him over. Straight up. Like, how is he going to stop the grappling? People want to pretend Brenner is this high-level fighter now or something. Like, he got a split against Tukugov that most people thought he lost.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got the shit beat out of him against Kutatelache, and the guy just on absurd juice survived and took over late, but he was like dying in that fight. Got saved by the bell, and the last fight he just fought a guy that is how do you say, kill or die, like this guy from Contenders.
Kill or be killed.
Yeah, kill or die. I like kill or die better.
Kill or die. Okay.
But yeah, how is he going to stop the grappling? Like, he was, I mean, this guy at welterweight was tossing people up. Like, you see what he did to fucking Uros Medic? I mean, Medic is a bad grappler, but he's a big guy, and he's becoming a good anti-wrestler. He just stopped Min's grappling the other day, and Min is gigantic. This guy just it got him pregnant. That was so funny. Like, he has a chin. I think he's going to rank him over. The under is probably good too.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Yasmin Lucindo. Like a lot of these fights we're talking about, I'm picking Lucindo to win, but I would definitely not lay this money line price on her. Her power edge is probably enough to get it done, but Karolina has good volume on the feet. She's fought good level of competition. I'm not sold that Lucindo is just going to top time her, although it wouldn't shock me if she gets a takedown or two. Lucindo is going to have a power edge on the feet. I don't think she's necessarily going to have a volume edge. I don't think she has a technique edge. But in women's MMA, Lucindo is much younger. She hits much harder, so I do expect her to get it done. I could see her hurting Karolina at times too. I actually think I'd rather play the under than I would play Lucindo money line, because I think if Lucindo covers, she's probably finishing or coming close to finishing at least. So yeah, I'm picking Lucindo to win. I have nothing on it. I don't mind the under though.
I think the line is short. Lucindo is better everywhere at everything. The physicality edge is huge. The power edge is huge. The finishing upside edge is huge. Karolina is 80 years old. She has fake teeth, and she's fighting someone hungry from the favela. I think she's going to get beat up. But do people in America like this guy, Donovan Mitchell? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
The guy from Cleveland Cavaliers? He's the gayest player I have ever seen. All his game is built around provoking fouls for free shots. This should be illegal. I hate this guy. So yeah, I think Lucindo is going to beat her up pretty badly. And what the fuck is Karolina doing at 87 years old, whatever she is in Brazil? What is she doing? Flying to Brazil to accepting this fight? Just take a fight in Europe against Sam Khan. You are not going to be champion. What's the point of taking this fight?
Fair enough. Jack Shore versus Joe Anderson Brito. This is a good matchup. Skill wise, I think Shore's pretty good, but Brito's so physical, and I give him a power edge. I just think his hardware is better. He's an interesting fighter to me because I feel like he has some flaws, but he's just so physically gifted that he can overcome them. He's 29 and he looks 40. He's just like a jacked guy that's going to come forward, throw hammers, good chin, good grappling. His most impressive win, it's pretty funny. Like on the Contender Series, his win against Diego Lopez aged pretty well. Like
I bet Diego Lopez there, and everybody was like, "Oh, you are such a bum for betting this guard player, Diego Lopez,
yeah.
that is never going anywhere." I remember it vividly. What is Diego Lopez now, you clowns?
Yeah, 100%. That aged really well. Then his fight with Algio, like I think Algio was just kind of a tough stylistic matchup for him, and he did have some success there. Ever since, like he killed Feely, he killed Alexander, he killed Wilson. JSP fight, not really relevant, just a very different matchup, but he was still able to pull that one out. Jack Shore, on the other hand, I don't know if I love him up at 145. Like he looks a little doughy to me. The Amir Khani fight I thought was terrible because Amir Khani, obviously he's known to have gas tank issues, but he wasn't even working that hard in that first round. He still came out in the second round like sucking wind.
I think he was just chilling, like at some point people know that Americani has like one round and the anaconda, and that's about it. And he was just laying there like, I cannot get anaconda if my back is on the floor. I don't know if that fight is actually very telling. You know what I mean? Yeah, he looks a little bit chubby, but if he gets the grappling going just a little bit here, like Brito is not what people think he is. You know what I mean? He's with very bad people. JSP was a minus 1,000 favorite live, and then he got choked out in the most absurd way possible. If Jack Shore gets a big moment of top time here, he puts the body triangle in, he may just like wash this guy. But yeah, I could absolutely see Brito just exploding on Shore's face and killing him round one easily or something crazy. It's a very good fight, very interesting fight.
Yeah, agreed. Paul Craig versus Kyle Rajo. I feel like Paul Craig at plus 500 against anyone is worth a look. Sub plus 1,000 against anyone's worth a look. Rajo's better at MMA, better striker, top time upside. But Craig, he could threaten anyone from his back. He's just dangerous everywhere. If you make a mistake against him, you can end up paying the price, which makes it impossible, at least in my eyes, to lay a big on Kyle. But yeah, I'm picking him to win. Just zero interest in this line at all.
Yeah, I mean, this is very wide. Borayo is not a volume guy. He's smaller and he's not a huge puncher and not a huge finisher. And Craig can grapple. I mean, I can see this fight going the way the Andre Muñiz fight went, easier than the Brendan Allen fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
He can use his size here if he doesn't die. I don't know. The line is outrageous. There are a couple outrageous lines in this event. So yeah, I think you have to take a little bit of Paul Craig. Like, what is Borayo's upside? Is he going to knock out Craig on the feet? He's like allergic to finishing people. And does he really want to be on the ground with Craig? I don't know. It's a very awkward fight, but you can count on Paul Craig to come forward and force a fight.
100%.
Everybody will have fun. I can guarantee that.
Yep, I agree with that. Michel Pereira versus Ihor Potieria. I never thought I'd see the day where Michel Pereira was a minus 700 favorite in the UFC. Do you think that's justified? Or is this one of the fights that you think
I will bet my father against Pereira at this price. My father is like 764. You give me close to plus 500. I mean, and 3 months to train. Easy bet. Pereira is the biggest fraud in the UFC, and people want to make it out like he is like, I don't know, Anderson Silva with a beard. This guy fucking sucks. I hate him. I want him to lose horribly 3 times in a row. I mean, Igor is a fraud, stupid as fuck, but he can bang at middleweight. He's huge. He almost killed Bellato. I think Bellato would put Pereira in a body bag. And like Pereira doesn't have gas. He doesn't have a gas. I mean, he's just horrible. He's just big and used and has some power and athleticism. His grappling is not even good. He just chokes dead people. Yeah, you have to take Potieria here or whatever his name is. If he dies, I don't give a fuck. +5. I mean, which fighter in the division you wouldn't take at +500 against this man? Tell me one you wouldn't take. One. Yeah, check the middleweight, UFC middleweight. You cannot find one you wouldn't take at +500 against Pereira. Come on.
If there was anyone I wouldn't take, it'd be this guy. He'd be like at the very bottom of the list.
You are not betting him?
I don't know. I haven't yet. It's just one of those things where like, you're right.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't think he's any good. Right. But like, how does Pereira cover that? Round 1 finish in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Also, Potieria is the duelist.
I don't think his cardio is very good. Not only do I not think it's good, I think his cardio is pretty bad too.
Yeah, but he's 1-0 in Brazil. And he beat Shogun Rua.
Does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. That fits my narrative.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it probably is a little wide. I expect Pereira to win, but how many fights has he ever covered 6-1 in? We may have something here.
5 minutes in, Pereira is going to be tired, and you want to have the duelist in that situation.
All right. Next up, Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. You got to do it here, I think. Like we've talked about in some of these prior fights, the line's just too wide. Petrino was like 3 fights removed from being the underdog against the Pleasure Man. He's fought an awful UFC schedule. He obviously has some physical tools. He's jacked. He hits hard. He could wrestle a little bit. But Anthony Smith, I agree that he's past it a little bit, but I think he can be past it here and still, not be totally out of this fight. He's big. I think his push kick is going to cause Petrino issues. No, I shouldn't say it is. I think his push kick and his leg kicks could potentially cause Petrino issues here. Is he shot? Yeah, a little bit. But is Petrino really going to just like dominate him in the wrestling? Because I don't think so. I don't think on the mat Petrino's actual grappling is good. Smith, he's coming off a fight against Khalil Roundtree, which wasn't like a beatdown at the time of the finish in the 3rd round. And Khalil's about to be in a #1 contenders fight. Yeah, it's just like you said, I don't necessarily want to do it. I think it just has to be done. There were guys John Jones was this big of a favorite against Anthony Smith, but that's really about it. Yeah, Petrino's being priced like he's the future champ. I don't necessarily think that's the case. So yeah, I'm taking Lionheart at a big number.
I think Petrino would beat Poatan right now. And Petrino is not even good at MMA. That's what I think of the division.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily disagree.
The guy is legit horrible. He's just fucking Godzilla on steroids. Yeah. Like he's gigantic and just he goes forward and people retreat and it's so muscled. And he throws big hooks. Have you seen him throw something functional? He doesn't kick. He doesn't he doesn't check leg kicks.
He can grapple a bit.
What?
He doesn't throw a lot of volume either.
Neither. He can grapple. I mean, his grappling is based on, I'm so big. You know what I mean? Like, what is he actually?
Like a football tackle. His grappling's like a football tackle.
What is he actually good at? Like, seriously.
Just being jacked.
The Pleasure Man took this man's back a couple times. The Pleasure Man couldn't take down that kebab seller the other day. It's true.
I know.
I want to fucking kill myself for betting Anthony Smith, but I have to do it. Legit. But I'll be rooting for Petrino, even if I bet Anthony Smith. I swear to God. Can't lose. I'm putting myself in a can't lose situation.
There you go.
I mean, just need one back take. And if he gets brutalized, which may happen, if he gets brutalized, he's going to be very brutalizing. You know what I mean? This is the kind of fight I want for Anthony Smith.
Okay.
Did you see what he said that he is next for Pereira? He should be
No,
next for Pereira. Even with a
I
loss
think
here, he should be next for Pereira because he will step into the fire with him. And Pereira knows that.
Listen, if he gets through Vitor Petrino, I think they should just give him Pereira. That's a fair deal, I think.
If he beats Victor Petrino, I mean, he probably gets a title shot. Petrino doesn't really kick legs, and that's Anthony Smith's problem. Like, he cannot take any leg kicks anymore. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he still takes a good beating because he doesn't have a lot of brain mass. It took a lot from Khalil to take him out. Like, I had Khalil by knockout, and I was starting to sweat that. You know what I mean? Because if Khalil falls once, maybe Khalil decides he's going full gay, like he always does, like against Kutelava. I was a little bit worried there. So yeah, Anthony Smith is either going to get brutalized or somehow end up on Petrino's back.
Yeah, I agree.
And I can't wait.
We will be there no matter what. Co-main event, Jose Aldo making his return to the octagon after a couple of years off against Jonathan Martinez. Do you think this is a favorable matchup in his return, or do you think that Martinez is going to get it done?
Let Paolo cook. Quota 3. We are in business. We are back in business. Jose Aldo versus Jonathan Martinez. This is the best fight on the card by far, in my opinion. Don't you think so?
It depends what you like. This isn't like, it's not my type of fight, you know? Like, it'll be fine, but I think it's just going to be like a close striking fight that goes to
that's because you are a wrestler, not a real connoisseur of the striking arts like me.
Well, you asked me if I thought it was. I'm most excited for the main event, and I'm most excited for Paul Craig and Boras. No, I'm just kidding. I'm excited for for Jack Shore and Brito. Is probably my most important. Not most important, but my most excited.
This is the best leg kicker in the roster against the best checker in the history of MMA. I think it's a great fight. So yeah, it comes down to Martinez can get his kicking going or not against the best checker in history of MMA, in my opinion. So Aldo probably decide at plus money, but he's sold coming back. He's probably using, I don't know. A skill for a skill, Aldo is better. Let's be honest. He's just told. Like, what will prime Aldo be here? Minus 400? So if he can deal with the kicks in boxing range, he's probably going to smoke Martinez, who only has basically a straight left and a check hook. If he can get inside checking the kicks, he's going to fucking fuck him up upstairs and downstairs. Martinez is pretty susceptible to the left hook, being knocked out a couple times with that. Good fight. I think we get a no way Jose moment here.
A no what?
No way Jose.
Do you remember we bet Jonathan Martinez against Davy Grant?
Yeah, and that was a good bet. I mean, motherfucker died, but if we run that back, he's a gigantic favorite. He was looking good. He just got hit with a stupid switch hit left hook. And Davy Grant never, ever hit anyone hard again. in his
that was the last time.
In his fucking life.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight, obviously, for the reasons you mentioned. Martinez, a great leg kicker. Aldo, great at checking leg kicks. Obviously, you know, Martinez is more active. He's younger. I kind of just see this being a close fight, kind of regardless of how, like, okay, let me rephrase it. If Aldo looks similar to what he looked a couple years ago, even if he regressed a little, I think it's probably a close fight. Like, I just don't really see either guy separating a ton. I also see it going to decision at a high clip. I guess if anyone's going to finish, I would guess it's Aldo. You know, like you said, if he gets in punching range and lands something clean, we've seen Martinez get knocked out before. I don't really see Martinez having a ton of finishing upside, at least not to the head. You know, I also can't really imagine him landing so many leg kicks.
Hits harder than he gets credit for. Like, he's a great kicker.
Aldo's hard to hit though, and also like, I'm trying to remember like the last time he got knocked out. It probably was
Martinez.
Jan beat him up pretty bad, but that was like it built up to the knockout. If you get what I'm saying, like it wasn't like one.
I mean, he almost finished him in round 1 too. But
yeah. So I was watching the hockey game.
What are you watching? Hockey? You are always watching hockey.
I've got hockey here, baseball here, and the Magic Man right in front of me.
You don't have the Paolo Banchero show going on?
Dude, I don't watch basketball. You know that.
I only watch the playoffs.
Anyway, yeah, I'm picking Martinez here just because I tend to favor activity. And I don't know, I build in a little bit of room if Aldo has regressed. So I'm picking Martinez, but it's one of my least confident spots on the card.
Great fight. This should be a 5-rounder, actually. But I guess the UFC is saving that spot for, I don't know, Vanessa de Mupoulos versus someone.
Main event time. But before we get into that, I want to shout out our sponsors one more time. SXBet, crypto betting exchange. Hop on. Some of the best odds.
I keep losing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did I go?
No, I thought you said I did.
I lost you.
Okay, I'll start over. I just wanted to shout out our sponsors, SXBet, one more time. They have some of the most competitive odds in the industry. Crypto betting exchange. You guys should definitely check it out. SXBet. They're going to give you a $1,000 welcome bonus. So make sure to check out our sponsors. Main event, Alessandro Pantoja taking on Steve Erceg. I think Pantoja is going to get it done here. He obviously is one of the best jiu-jitsu players in the sport. His strength of schedule is off the charts. His last 5 wins are like as good as it could possibly get. Royval twice, Moreno. I could go on and on about his resume. He's never been finished, which is crazy just considering how like frantic he fights. He's been in the UFC for a long time. Even like his fight against Manel Kopp has aged amazing because he didn't even really grapple in that fight and won clearly. And Kopp is like near the top of the division right now. I don't necessarily think that Erceg is a bad grappler, but I think Pantoja has the ability to make good grapplers look like humans. Like the Perez fight is crazy. Perez is not a bad grappler, and Pantoja took his back and choked him like it was just some guy off the street. Obviously, Erceg's younger. He's bigger. He has decent power. He just hasn't been tested at this level. He hasn't gone 5 rounds. This is a main event. This is in Pantoja's home country, I should say. And if that guy gets your back, good luck. Even on minutes, like Erceg was very competitive with Dvorak. The Costa fight was very competitive. Even the Schnell fight wasn't like a blowout before the KO. And, obviously Pantoja KO'd Schnell also. So I think it's too much for Erceg. I think Pantoja is going to probably submit him in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that Erceg is getting a title shot.
Crazy.
of beating Matt Schnell in 2024. Like, what are we doing? Like, he literally was plus 230, plus 240 against David Dorak. And he just had a big moment that swing the fight, but he was getting kind of outclassed. Then the Alessandro Costa fight could have gone either way. They almost killed each other twice. And then he goes punch for punch with Matt Schnell, and he wasn't looking great or anything. He just won because Schnell cannot take a punch. I mean, I bet Erceg by knockout, and Schnell cannot fucking take a punch. And now he's fighting Pantoja. I mean, early line plus 200 or whatever, I can still... I mean, Erceg is huge, can grapple, can hit. But this line is getting out of control, I feel. Like, if Pantoja comes out and just smokes him, like, would anyone be surprised?
What do you think the line should be? If they fought 100 times?
I don't know, honestly, but not minus 190.
Yeah.
I like the under too. I mean, but people betting Erceg are like, you have to be banking on him hurting Pantoja, not right? And he's never been finished. I don't know. I bet Royval late and by submission against Pantoja. That motherfucker is impossible to submit. Like, unless he's unconscious, it's crazy. Like, his grappling defense is insane. So yeah, I mean, have you seen Erceg talk?
No, I mean not like leading up to this. I've seen him do interviews before.
I don't know how he's going to do this, but he may just be the chosen one. Autistic and a speech impediment, bro. He has the combination.
Yeah, you got to.
He may just be the chosen one.
Yeah, I tend to think he should be a bigger that Pantoja should be a bigger favorite here. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. But it could. I mean, it's a fight that I can see going a lot of ways. You know what I mean? It could develop into a great classic.
Yeah, I also think like the narrative that Pantoja's older is kind of irrelevant just because he's kind of looked career best lately, even though he's 34. Like his last fight against Royval was really, really impressive. The Moreno fight was a dog fight. What would you line it, Andrew? Good question, since my co-host didn't even ask. I think like early price was close to right. Like I think minus 230 to minus 264 range would be.
Where do you get that number from? I love when people do these things.
Because minus 233 is 70%, and minus 264 is between 70 and 75%.
This motherfucker just missed a free throw with 15 seconds to go. We are not going to cover because of this. I fucking hate this sport. I love when people tweet something like, "Yeah, this fight, blah blah blah. I see it going this way, blah blah." Fighter X, 67% implied. Like, did you run a NASA algorithm for that or what?
Okay.
To know that it's 67?
I'm glad someone asked this. I think they have a goaltending advantage. I think that they're as deep as any team in the NHL. Obviously, they're gonna, if it goes to 7, they're gonna have home ice advantage. They've beat this team 2 out of 3 times they played in the regular season. They beat them in the playoffs 2 years ago. They had more wins than them this season. Obviously, the Hurricanes are really good. They're a grinding type of team, but I think they're. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased, but I think the Rangers at plus money in the series is like pretty great, even though they're like plus 140, which just makes no sense to me. Rangers were the best team all season. They've beaten the Canes 2 out of 3 times they played. They had a really easy first round matchup where they didn't have to work that hard. They have one of the best goalies. So yeah, it's going to be a great series, but I'm sticking with the Rangers, of course. Toronto or Boston, who blows it Saturday night?
What
I
are
don't
these
know.
people even talking about? I don't know nothing about this. What is this? Ice hockey?
Yeah.
Stupid as the sport. I watched half of a game once. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
You just have to get the puck in the net. It's not that hard to understand.
But I don't understand the dynamics of it. You know what I mean? I realized that there are actual positions. I thought it was just people skating around. And it's like
it's
soccer. It's like soccer indoor. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like basketball. There is a big guy. Well, not a big guy, but a front guy. But I don't get it. People can go behind the goal. That's absurd. That's absurd. And then they shoot from the strangest places. I don't understand anything about it. And you have to be skating same time. Like it looks so difficult to me. And then they fight. I mean, it's the most stupid sport in the world. Then they just randomly start fighting, and the referees are like, okay.
Panthers are good. I had their series price against the Lightning. That was free. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna win.
I can't believe this idiot is here again.
Yeah,
Lakers are a lock. Bro, I'm up like $1 million already on the NBA. You have to get that rebound.
One of my favorite comments.
Which comment?
I gotta put this up again. This is amazing.
That story was crazy, bro. I don't know what's happening. They called a foul against who? Against Cleveland, right? Yeah, we are cooking. Andrew, we have to make these free throws, okay? One moment. One in. Need to make the second one. I fucking hate Donovan Mitchell. Make the second one, for the love of God. Please, make this free throw. Wendell Carter Jr., serious guy.
I feel like I tell this story every week around here.
Yeah, I met him in Iraq.
Yeah, we were serving together.
He made it. We are in business.
What's the total number of points?
I don't know. I don't play those stupid bets. I bet the spreads.
I bet the over. Let me see.
I don't think you hit because this is like
It
200
lost
total.
it lost by half a point. That sucks.
Are you serious? The total is 199.
Yeah, it's over.
It was 200?
Yeah. That sucks.
I mean, it fucking sucks when that happens, but when that happens to me, I'm always thinking like, yeah, I'm saying, no, I lost by a point, but the other side are like, oh, we won by a point. You know what I mean? So it's just not fair to bitch about it. But yeah, it sucks. So yeah, we covered. Paolo Banchero, never in doubt.
Okay.
Oh, they call him Banquero in the broadcast. Paolo Banquero. Why is that? His name is
not his
clearly
name?
Banchero, not Banquero.
I don't know.
Now I just need the shitas Clippers to cover, and we are in business big time.
Okay.
Yeah, who's Munguia upsetting Canelo? Yeah, I tweeted it. Ryan Zavala sounds Mexican. Or is this Ryan, my Ryan? I don't know if it is Ryan, the Ryan I know.
Hopefully someday soon.
I have to put bets in and send to people and all that. Yeah, I bet Munguia. I told Andrew before tweeting. I think if he doesn't like fucking get countered, outcode or something because he's super hittable. But he's huge. I mean, this is going to be a fight, I feel. If Canelo comes out and just destroys him or like makes him fight like a bitch and just works him down, it's going to be impressive. But I don't think he can do it at this stage. So yeah, if anybody got any questions or whatever, if not, I'm going to bounce.
Ask away.
I don't think there is going to be a podcast next week.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah, I know. I just remembered because I won't be in town on Friday. I'm going into the wilderness, and I also have to get a tooth removed of something. I don't know because your surname is fucking Zavala. I mean, my Mexican detector just exploded.
It's in his blood. You know what his ancestors did to Mexicans? I got nothing.
Everybody's bitching about this pay-per-view, but I mean, it's not a great pay-per-view in terms of pay-per-view attraction, but the fights are pretty good overall, I feel. That's a tough ask, but I don't know. People are sleeping on Anthony Edwards, bro. That guy's the truth.
That's a good question.
Gomis, but he already quit. Look, he weighed in at 143. You realize?
I realized he was sick.
No, I mean they were like, 143, and people thought he missed, and it was like 140 or something.
Yeah.
Like, no, he weighed in 2 pounds under. Like, what the fuck is going on?
With clothes on too.
He looked 3 pounds under. He has 1 pound allowance. What is he doing? Like, what's going on? I think they don't know how to translate pounds into kilograms. That has been the problem, I feel.
There's no way.
I'm telling you, these French people are very slow. I'm telling you.
I think that's my cue to end the podcast.
Bro, for sure. They went like pounds to kilograms. Google search. They fucked it up or something, and they almost killed the guy.
But
I'm pretty sure the story is going to come out and be like that. Yeah, we fucked up the numbers. We almost killed William Gomis on the weight cut. Come on, William. 1 pound to go. He was fucking
I barely missed that.
I actually saved that video of Gomis weighing in and then walking off for when I lose a really bad bet. I like that video.
Oh my god.
Yeah, everybody's hating on Topuria, eh?
I don't know why. I don't even really understand it.
Because we went there and just got everything again. Like nothing. Got the belt, got the monies. He even took a woman, like in the old times. Yeah, they are in for a long ride. I feel. I don't think anyone is going to beat this guy.
Oh my god.
Serious guy, Topuria, respects traditions.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to headline Mexican Independence Day. Max kind of looks like a Mexican, so it's all right.
Close enough, you think?
Don't you think he looks like a Mexican, Max Holloway? If he has clothes on and you don't see the Maori tattoos, and you don't know he's Hawaiian?
I could see it.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
All right,
That fight is not going to be competitive.
What?
Topuria versus Holloway is not going to be competitive. I think people are in for a shock.
Okay, bold statement. We may or may not be back next week. We'll let you guys know on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe. Good luck this weekend. Okay, there you go. I was waiting for the